Is he the type of player that Chelsea need?
Like I said, the way people play against Chelsea now is different than how they were playing when Tuchel was in charge. Because I have a feeling that team still has enough of him in it. You know, the players that are there and the way they are set up. So that's what Chelsea is trying to move away from and try to spread out and seeing, like a different journey. But Chelsea being pushed back. They're being pushed back, like I said, 40 yards behind them. So they need guys that can break and hit them on the break. Felix, talented, very in talent as a player. Skill-wise, he has. But the speed that you sometimes need in the 40 yards, he might not be able to open up. If he's gone, yeah, it's harder to catch him. But I'm just saying, like, when it comes down to really for him to break open the speed and do that, I don't think so. I think he's more like a very creative, like a rounder striker, number 10 type of player, and that's where he pops up. But the best thing is also, when he was at Atletico played two systems. Sometimes they sit, sometimes they attack. But when it comes to Atletico, they have the character. He definitely is going to need it here, but the best call for him to make, and I hope he did that, is when you speak to Bruno Fernandes, ask him how this league is and what is really necessary for him. If he's got that down, he's fine. But the only thing is that the way he be surprised, the way Chelsea is playing at the moment, than compared to what he has seen before. And as long as he can adapt himself very quickly to that system of playing, he'll be fine. And if not, he might say to himself, like, wow, this is totally different than I thought it would be.
Because let's have a look at his statistics in the World Cup and the heat map and where he played there. Because as you can see, it's very much on the left-hand side. If we look at who Chelsea have got in there, Pulisic could play there, Sterling could play there, Chukwuemeka could play there, Amari Hutchinson could play there, Mason Mount could play there, Hakim Ziyech could play there. So it's not like they're missing players in that area of the pitch. What it needs to be for Chelsea is shifted across into that central position.
Yeah, and that's why I want to know, like, what is their philosophy? Like, because how are they buying? You know, like, are they buying in the sense of like letting go of certain guys? Or are they buying just because they want to pack the numbers? Because, look, if you want to have a number situation like how City has it, they have great quality. But clearly, he has enough quality when it comes to football. But the only thing is this the perfect guy to fit your team? And that answer, no one can give that answer. They went after him, but no one can give that answer till we see it. In the sense of, like, how is Potter planning to use him to the advantage for him as an individual, but also to affect the team, because that's clearly what they need. Goals is needed, because there's not enough goal scoring in that team. Because sometimes it's like a 1-0, a 2-0. It's not like it's a normality, because the number 9 position, what no one wants to touch, it's been a problem for a long time at Chelsea. That means that goal scoring has been a problem.
Yeah, Havertz as well, another player who could have played in that position. So, is there other areas where they need strengthening? You mentioned Jorginho contract coming up. I mean,
Kante,
do they need to fill that central midfield position?
Yeah, because that's where most of the battles get won. Because that's how you see how people outplay you a lot of times when they set things up. So there's the middle of the park. They have now what the young Brazilian kid they brought on. Now they brought on a defender. Now they have a forward. And then Nkunku is for next season. So they're already looking as well, going into the season after. But now, like I said, now is the key. So if he comes in now, he's on loan. They brought him in on loan. And now bring him in and see what they're going to do with the season after, because people are waiting. Are you loaning a talent like that? There must be another connection to it, in the sense of if it goes well for both sides, that he stays on. And that is what we're going to see. But he's going to fill a position where at the moment Chelsea has a lot of injuries. But also there has enough players that can battle for that position.
Yeah, a record spend in the summer for Chelsea. Spending has gone sort of well over 300 million now. if you look at some of the signings, I'm guessing they were hoping for more, whether that be through injuries or form. Like so Fofana maybe for injuries, Koulibaly maybe for form, Sterling for form maybe. Hasn't done what they were hoping. What do you make of the business they've done, and how do they go forward from here then?
From the business what they've done, they brought in a new scouting director, you know, Vivil, and he was at Leipzig already, so he has his background of understanding of what he has to do. So he knows most of the individuals that they're trying to approach. Not the ones that they approached before he joined, but the ones that are coming now, because they must have run it by him for him to understand. So the planning now, the only thing that I understand from watching Chelsea is that they're building for the future, and they're looking at how they can make this team have a longevity. But having said that, don't forget today. That's the only thing I have, you know, that they don't forget today, because if they're already thinking about, you know, further down the line, you still have to first do the job now, and then we can step into the next ones. And I feel like that's one of the most important parts.